Cervantes, Ridley engraved in stone. Not literally, I hope. It was a name he never knew, but he would never forget. You see, there was a problem that was right around the corner, and Ridley could not bargain for the furniture. Samus was on a chair being angsty, of course, because, as we all learned so far, angsty is cool and mysterious and awesome! And Cervantes thought that she was her type. That who was whose type? I mean, there's a guy and a girl, and he just used two feminine words there? Whatever. He sat down next to her and began to woo her with his color. If I were him, I'd try to woo her with my bad ass. Hello, Cervantes began. Hi, returned Samus. You look very beautiful and you're angsty, Cervantes related. I'll see you around. Samus was amazed by this man. He thought he was beautiful, and they just met. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but use your member, and fuck me maybe. Okay, crappy joking aside, he repeated the same mistake before, except with two masculine forms instead. We just had Cervantes thought that she was her type, and now we have he thought he was beautiful. Unless, of course, she's trying to imply that Cervantes has narcissistic tendencies, but let's just move on, because the more I try to make sense out of this, the more I can feel blood hemorrhaging in my brain, and that's not good. But was angsty good? No. Yes, no, yes. No, yes! Samus was battling herself, and she almost missed the boat. She would think a boat to this later, but not later, as she decided. Once again, what sense does that make? It would have been way more awesome if she went with but not decided, except Viet Crystal wasn't a thing back then, so yeah, it would have been the most amazing coincidence ever if she went with but not decided, but anyway. One. Inside her head, there was another battle. Samus against Dark Samus. Cholera against Samus. It was a battle that could not be broken, and no Sargent. What the fuck? What the fuck is a Sargent? Does she mean like sergeant? And if that's the case, then what sense does that make? It's probably the 100th time that I'm saying what sense does that make, but seriously, it's the main reaction that this fanfiction is giving me. It's what sense does that make? So, if anyone has an idea what she's trying to say, please share it with me. Could explain the situation. It was too late. Too late. Too late. Because 3 times is better than 1. 1. After school, Samus was confronted by Ridley, who was anticipated. The day had been very long, and he was ready to make up for the problems he had created. But was Samus? I'm sorry, real die apologized to little effect. It's too late for love. Samus deflated his balloon. Ridley was out of his mind. But what are E2 talking about? He disillusioned. Ridley, I'm Cervantes' girlfriend now. Samus shocked the populace. Time stood still but kept going for Ridley. This was impossible to comprehend. What the hell? And yes, for once, that wasn't me saying it. It's actually written in the fanfic. But Samus, what about... But Ridley was cut off because Cervantes came out of the door and dared with debonair? Now, I'm not a native English speaker, so it might actually make sense and be grammatically correct and all, but I wouldn't bank on it personally. Goodbye, Samus ultimated, and Ridley was left alone in the cold. Too old. Too cold. One. Ah! Samus fought with Dark Samus for control. She could not believe she dumped her boyfriend, but it was too late. Or not. Dark Samus, you suck! Bad-mouthed Samus. Wow. Amazingly, Samus's trash-talking skills have become even worse since Chapter 1. This is not something that I expected. Ha ha ha, little girl. The cholera will soon devour you, and I will control your body, Dark Samus snapped back. Samus snarled at her opponent and continued the battle that would determine what? One. Cervantes and Samus went to many places that were cool, like Hot Topic, and other places that cool people chill. Now, I'm not American, so I know little about Hot Topic. The only things I know are from a Wikipedia search I did prior to starting this reading. But apparently it's a chain of stores that specialize in licensed clothing and music. And there are only stores in the United States except for 2 in Toronto and Mississauga. Now, I'm not from Toronto and Mississauga, so I'm completely unaware of whether Hot Topic has any relationship with angst and emo and stuff since, well, I never went through that phase. But, once again, if anyone can enlighten me as to whether mentioning Hot Topic in that context has any sort of relevance is the word I'm looking for, then please tell me. They ate some things, but the date was over pretty quick then it had started. Samus remembered her first date with Ridley, but Dark Samus was in control and there was no stopping the lust. Let's go to my house, Cervantes proposed. Samus was wary of this request, but she was overcome with passion and was battled by the cholera, her good judgment. There was little to do now, just hope. One. At Ridley's house, Ridley was depressed. He had screwed up his relationship, and now he was listening to depressing music. He was afraid that he might become emo, and it was likely. More likely than he could think. But hey, he could relate with Samus again. It's win-win. He also was thinking about darker things, but it wasn't true. No, it was. No, it wasn't. This was Ridley's battle, and he had things to overcome as well. If he could. One. Samus was naked and passionate, just like that long ago. But it was different. Because it wasn't Ridley, it was Cervantes. So, okay, she got an STD in this make-believe world where the cholera is an STD. She got it from Ridley, and she's angry at Ridley because he hadn't told her. And now, she's about to give Cervantes the cholera without telling him. You hypocritical bitch! I can't believe it! When I say that this goes against everything Metroid and Samus and Ridley stand for, I'm not kidding! Wow! Just wow! She was exploding in lust, but she kept feeling that it was wrong, but Dark Samus was in control. There was little she could do. This day had been a mind blow. And it was only going to get worse from here, she knew. As Samus fell asleep in Cervantes, what? Did he eat her, or what? Murky thoughts clouded her mind. Dark, light, Ridley, Cervantes, love, lust, redemption. This chapter was dark but good. Who are you to tell me what is good or not? You're the freaking author. You have no moral right to pass judgment on your own work. It's the job of the reader to do so. You can be satisfied with what you did, but to say it's good, no. And, quite frankly, assuming this is not a troll fic, I wouldn't be surprised with this piece of crap either. I have another on the way, so don't worry, and read and review if you please. Thanks to everyone whose name I used, and if you want your name used, just tell me. Hope you liked, lol. So there was more than just Cervantes? Maybe those two kids, Robbie and Smiley, that we hadn't heard before until now? Maybe them? Better not think about it. Better not think that 3 people asked her to be in the fanfic. But anyway, this chapter is over. Only 3 left, guys. And I don't really know how to conclude this because this was bad. This was just horrible. Of course it was good for a laugh. What with the he had a badass thing? Oh my god, just thinking about it brings a smile to my face again, but he had a badass. But I guess I'll see you next time for Chapter 6.